Baden Masters wird präsentiert vom Swisslos-Sport von Aargau, der Regionalwerk Baden und Schob mit ihren Profis für Gartenbau, Spenglerei und Flachdach. Das Baden Masters wird präsentiert vom Swisslos-Sport von Aargau, der Regionalwerk Baden und Schob mit ihren Profis für Gartenbau, Spenglerei und Flachdach. Das Baden Masters wird präsentiert vom Swisslos-Sport von Aargau, der Regionalwerk Baden und Schob mit ihren Profis für Gartenbau, Spenglerei und Flachdach.
To us, I would like maybe the English for it wasn't. Wanted to check. Was habt ihr genommen jetzt? Was habt ihr jetzt genommen? So, was müssen wir jetzt? Start intern oder start outern? India. Silber.
We are featuring Michael Brunner and Jan Schwaller in this quarterfinal match.
Un petit peu là.
One of the interesting things too about the playoffs is 3 teams came out of one pool. It doesn't happen very often. Pool A had Benny Kapp, Joel Retornaz and Michael Brunner all making the playoffs. Bruce Mouat, the undefeated team, came out of Pool C. And we had 2 teams out of Pool B and 2 out of Pool D. Once the draw the button is confirmed, we will get the colors for the teams. We're playing on rink 2. It'll be interesting to see about the ice because the weather in Switzerland isn't too bad, but it is quite humid, and during the week the evening ice was a little bit tired, as I call it, and the ice changed the speed a little bit during the game, so the players did have to be on top of that.
Ja. Jetzt heiß. Das ist schon letztes Mal passiert auf diesem Sheet da. Dass der dritte tut dann weniger gönnen. Oh ja, perfekt.
This was a great chance for teams early in the season to get in quality games. These are all elite teams, and it's a long season, so they do have to prioritize events and periodize their planning, but this is one of those top bonspiels that everybody wants to get in. And as we get near the Olympic year, that'll be even more so next year, I would think. So Al, the teams that made the playoffs have some very interesting matchups.
Yes, we have Ross Whyte at 3-1 playing Joel Retornaz, the two probably highest ranked teams in the world. Retornaz number 1, and I believe Whyte is number 9. Nicholas Edin, current world champion, is playing young Kapp from Germany. Both finished the round robin at 3-1. And Bruce Mouat, undefeated and current European champion, is playing Swiss local favorite, Marco Høstmælingen, who finished at 2-2 with a whole bunch of other teams at 2-2, but because he had the best draw shot challenge at only 13.7 centimeters average, which is near the button on every throw, he took that last playoff spot. So our feature game, Brunner and Schwaller, are no stranger to each other. They played last year in the Swiss Championship final. A lot of people think that that will be the Swiss Championship final for a few years to come yet. So the two top teams in Switzerland facing off, one of them will make it into the semifinals, the other, of course, be eliminated.
These games are 8 ends. They do employ the 5-rock free guard zone rule and the no-tick rule, where you cannot move a guard away from center line or into the house that is out of the free guard zone area while those guards are being played by the leads.
And because these teams both finished at 3-1, they did do a last shot or draw shot challenge to determine who has last stone in the first end of this game.
I think it's good. Ja! Har du 12?
It's not unusual to see a different person throw last and skip. As a matter of fact, in these playoffs, there are 3 teams with thirds who skip, and one of them is Yannick Schwaller. He's in the house for this team, with the 4th thrower Benoit Schwartz, 2nd Sven Mikkel, and lead Pablo Lachal Kushpin. Michael Brunner does have the traditional lineup, as we call it, where Michael Brunner is the skip and 4th thrower. And the lead starting his team off is Andreas Gerlach, Romano Keller-Meyer, and Anthony Patuda are the rest of the team.
I'm a little surprised at this call. I thought with that first stone center guard being quite a bit off the center line, that Brunner would be a little more aggressive and go around it. Instead, he's called a corner guard to try and set up 2 options. But this, what I would say, I thought he would be a little more aggressive and go around that guard, because he knows that Schwaller is going to go around it if he doesn't. You always kind of want the other team chasing your shots as opposed to you chasing their shots.
I was going to say, what's interesting is we saw the Brunner team and we saw some big ends scored with them employing very aggressive play, but that was probably against an opponent that he felt was not quite as skilled. He's looking at a very skilled opponent in Yannick Schwaller, so it is interesting, especially for coaches, of course, to go through that planning of how to attack the team that you're about to face.
I'm sure they discussed a game plan before they went on the ice about what they're trying to accomplish, and both teams, of course, your game plan varies as soon as the opposition starts making some shots on you.
So it is Michael Brunner with the hammer in this first end. We have seen a lot of curl on this ice during the week. A lot of it is late, so you have to be really careful of the weight that you choose for the shot. Draws and taps move a lot.
Yeah, so guards that are long, even 2 meters in front of the house, they can get around them and actually move stones that are completely buried.
Hij zo rijden, minder 12. Ik ga voor innen.
So here's a great example. He's calling back 12-foot weight for a tap. We saw the one turn played by the Brunner team from outside in. Wasn't really that much ice to play the shot. This one has a lot more ice, so I'm just going to be interested to see if this is the turn that has more curl.
You'll see he's given about 4 feet of ice for a backline weight shot.
Close.
Has a little less weight than he called.
Curl. Allez. Oh.
And Team Schwaller believe that they have the best brusher in the world in Pablo Lachot. They believe he can hold rock straight and make them curl and drag them better than anybody else. So you'll see him sweeping a lot of stones today.
And it's interesting when they do employ that one person more often, they'll actually do that swivel from side to side to make a curl or hold it straight. So it's a very big skill for the person that is brushing and requires a lot of core strength.
And Team Brunner believes that that is a real weapon that they have.
Hard to get it. Come on.
Or, pardon me, Team Schwaller.
Got the little chip. Shooter does roll farther than they wanted.
All the stones now are behind the tee line, so not really helping Team Brunner.
Freeze is hier enough. Got nicht freeze, T-line.
So here are the two.
He called either the freeze.
Schwierig im Fall. Der muss ziemlich dünn und dann kannst du runter. Da kann da etwas aufbauen. Nein, es ist ein T-line da. Bisschen Dolly. Wenn Freeze läuft, ist es okay. Das ist hinter T-line nach mit dem Doppel.
There's a lot of Sfinglish going on in their call.
Yes. The defensive call would have been the in-off. They're going to play the freeze, trying to fight the button and get the right angle on that yellow stone.
And for those English-speaking viewers, if you listen to Schwaller talk, you can probably tell exactly what he's saying, because there's a lot of curling terms that are English that have been adopted by almost everybody.
Really, the one person on the team that really had to work on the teamwork was Sven Mikkel, who was Germanic speaking, and the team at the time he joined them was French speaking, so he learned French. And I do admire the fact that they know so many languages in Switzerland.
Out! Whoa! Hack! Close, yep.
More of these quiet weight shots. It's a bit of a challenge in the first half. Both line and weight.
Keep going!
It's on the guard. They'll try and split it off now.
Go. Gut.
And these players live all over the country. They don't live in the same town or village, so getting together to practice is a bit of a challenge, although a lot of them are typically driving 1 to 1.5 hours to get to a curling club to practice with each other.
Ich glaube, es ist der Runback. Das Garten können wir nicht, sonst wenn er einen guten Tap schafft, ist er auf 2 Kurs. Nein, nicht viel. Aber es ist der erste. Ja. 4,5 innen ist das Ziel.
So holding the broom is Benoit Schwartz for Yannick Schwaller.
They're going to try and play a run back to eliminate that Brunner stone back there.
Go.
successfully accomplished. Overall, the play, there's not really any problems for Michael Brunner right now. The play is all on the side, and he's got a corner guard, so he's still looking good for an opportunity to score a deuce here.
It was kind of funny after that hit. They all had to keep looking around as those rocks were rolling around the 12-foot to see what was left. The Redstones are currently outscoring the yellow one at the back of the house.
Easy line. Halbe vier immer rum. Gehen zu viel. Schön bis da.
This is kind of the dream scenario actually for Brunner. What you would try and do as a team with last stone is maneuver everything around so that you get an opportunity with either your thirds, first or second slot now to be aggressive. So there's no danger. The center is open. Should things not work out, he's got a couple of corner guards, and with his thirds first stone, you got a chance to go around that corner guard even with backing. So good situation for Brunner. They've managed the end very well.
I thought it was a bit. Yeah.
We'll give some credit to the ice maker, Jamie Danbrook. Not easy in the summer with the heat, and now today with some humidity to make the ice hold up, but it's looking really good. And look at the positioning of this broom way out on the side of the sheet, trying to use the whole sheet to make the shots, and this is a tricky little tap.
Whoa! 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 Down! Down!
Go. That one doesn't want to curl.
Just that little extra weight. He maybe had, he was probably trying to throw hack weight. He maybe had board, and with that, as Linda said, with that little bit extra weight, outside and then that fresh pebble, it just didn't want to curl. So Brunner's going to try and duplicate, play that same shot again, go around that same guard and try and freeze to his own and set up two behind the corner guard, which brings three into play.
Gut, schön bis vorne. Linie super. Linie perfekt. Schön bis vorne. Linie perfekt, schön bis vorne. Bis vorne, Römer, come on, sicher Shot. Victor! Hey! What's up? Nice.
Hello.
Perfect stone.
Hello. Nice.
Yeah.
So
You'll notice on that one that Michael Brunner in the house was only talking about line. He wasn't calling sweepers on for weight. That's his job, is to communicate the line to the brushers, and the brusher's job is to communicate the weight back to the skip. And between the two of them, they have a conversation up and down the ice to try and get that stone positioned precisely.
Ich habe 14,5. Oder habe ich
So it's left Benoit run back, double or triple. He's got to also make that raised rock get out of play because it's an opposition stone. So he's going to try and remove all three of those stones if he can.
Whoa! That's not in, sorry.
All good. Good.
Opening up in a relatively easy double, so Brunner now has two options. He could either draw a third stone into the house, and or he could guard that one, try and put it back, and leave the same shot. He's trying to figure out the best spot, so he's thinking a tight guard. I don't know if I'd want to be too tight. That makes the run back a little easier.
It's always something we discuss. He's given himself three options: a guard, an angle freeze on the yellow so that they would jam on the red, or come around the yellow stones. But whatever he throws in the hack, you really do have to focus back on your original call, the main shot you want to make. And once you release it, the plan B or C can come into play, but you really should focus on one shot in the hack.
Okay. Okay.
The purpose of this shot is to give himself a chance to get a 3. If he was to draw in the house on the other side, pretty sure that would be a pretty easy double for Mouat doubles out, and that would reduce Brunner down to a 2. So he's trying to set up an opportunity for a 3 score.
Easy, easy.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
It's exactly where he wanted it.
Ja. Es gibt einfach keinen Jam.
Genau, ja, perfekt. Ja, aber weißt du, hey, da. Da oder...
Ja, oder da, weißt du?
Drum.
Also dann lieber da.
So. Können wir da verstecken? Ah ja.
So they're looking at Team Schwaller looking at possible draw shots to get out of trouble. They realize that probably the run back is too difficult, and so they're looking at some kind of a draw shot to get out of trouble. So there's things they could go around their own redstone at the top of the 8-foot on the left, or try and go around the 2 yellow stones and sit back 8-foot.
Ich würde Draw spielen.
Okay, also du wärst
so gut rot.
Ja, weißt du. Der Draw, wie viel brauchen wir ganz genau?
So.
Ja, es könnte sich, okay. Ist das genug? Wir werden genau hier, oder?
Fährt mich. Da.
Wie viel Curls zur Mitte?
Weißt du, du hast nicht so viel gegönnt.
It looks like they've decided to go around their own redstone, and now they're just trying to figure out how much ice they should take for that, which is a little bit difficult in the very first end of a game because you haven't seen a lot of stones come down, although the teams probably do practice here a lot in the summer. Also tough on the brushers is they haven't really seen this path, and so they're not probably 100% sure of the speed.
It's also a very precise draw because the Yellowstone is half in the 8-foot, half in the 12-foot. And if you were to completely bury behind your own guard, you might not be shot rock. So they have to really work at the end to position it correctly.
Yeah, they'd like to be just behind the tee line, fully in the 8-foot, behind that redstone. Very precise shot.
Regarde bien, Pablo.
Ligne bien. Ligne lui.
Ligne parfaite.
Ligne droite. Nous ligne. Calme.
Il faut coller, on est loin.
Calme, Pablo, allez, pousse. Pousse, allez, plus fort.
See that the weight was perhaps maybe a little light and had his feet that would held it straighter, but even Pablo couldn't get that one to curl around behind that guard. So it's pretty open and available for Brunner. You could see 3/4 or a little bit more of that stone.
Also das geht sicher.
Ja, das geht. Also ich habe schon nicht erwartet.
Ich auch. Es ist zu viel Eis gewesen.
So the main objective is to make that one go away. If you roll out, you still get 2,
so, dass wir nicht warten können, dass es geht.
which would be a completely successful end.
Was muss zuerst Mate sein? Boah, der Runback ist so schwierig. Finde ich.
Von der man jetzt gerade gespielt hat.
A little bit of a guess on the weight for this one. We said the draw weight, they weren't really sure about the path to take. Same with this hit.
Leider aktiv. Das ist gut.
Halt! Halt!
This would look so really tight, very heavy.
Halt! Ja! Whoa!
Yannick. Push.
What a huge turnaround that was.
Yeah, big chance for 3, certainly 2, and instead it's a steal of 1.
I think in that situation, being the first end, I might have thrown more weight at that stone to make sure I hold it straight and get it out of play. and pick up the deuce.
Aber ich kann nicht, also ich kann nicht so
No, I think probably that was a little bit more than hack weight. And as soon as you start bringing the weight down, then a lot more curl comes into play. So a huge steal by Team Schwaller, and they'll breathe a big sigh of relief getting out of that end without giving up a 300 to Brunner.
So the Schwaller team has as its fourth thrower Benoit Schwartz van Berkel, then Yannick Schwaller is the third, Sven Mikkel the second, and Pavel Shakushpin is the lead. And on the Brunner team, fourth thrower and skip Michael Brunner, Anthony Patot is the third, Romano Meyer-Keller is the second, Andreas Gerlach is the lead. Both have great coaches. No,
I don't know if the coaches are in the building or not.
Hovard Pedersen, and we know him as a player for many years. So nice to see them both involved. Bernhard Wertermann on the other side.
Linie ist im Fall Schuss.
Genau, oder? Super.
Ja, das geht so viel, das Ding ist fast ein Band. Ja, ja, gut gewusst. Schön in der Kommunikation, schön gut bleiben.
So Brunner's going to continue with the same strategy that worked the first end, except for the last shot. He's going to throw corner guard up here.
Zwei, wenn den Curl. Bis zum Base. Könnt ein bisschen tiefer.
And lead Andy Gerlach. Throws it perfectly.
Line uppe! T-line! Og den! T-line! Oh. T-line!
4.
Hinter 4, hinter 8.
Ja, ist ein bisschen Max, ja. Nein, ist im Fall Max in der 4.
Aber er ist schon T-line. Linie ist steep up.
We're calling out that it's a little deep, but we have seen them slow down when they hit the paint, and that one will as well.
Ja.
Good enough.
It's alright.
Nein, B.
Ja, gut, das. So in hinten vor, ja.
Innerhalb, in den 12!
Ich habe schon einen halben Meter länger gesehen, also so.
Whoa, Tony!
Ja, genau, ja.
Whoa, Simon! Tony! Go after line, go after weight. Keep going, keep going.
Also das ist bitter frei.
Good.
Super.
Oh, run, oder? Wow. Ich habe run, aber. Gut. Juni.
Wir sind schot. Siehst auch nur ein Drittel oder so, oder? Das geht auch nicht.
Nice shot. You don't have to be shot rock immediately.
So haben wir drum.
Set up for later in the end.
Wenn wir hier gehen, ist halt gegen eingestellt. Wir können probieren, in der 4 genau allein.
Was machen wir?
Sonst kommt noch schnell, Sven.
Run, oder? Du kannst schon das Spiel, aber.
Wir auch hier.
Yannick has asked Sven, the thrower, to come down and take a look at things. See, kind of get a feel for what Sven feels good about.
Das gefällt mir. Vielleicht, weil es noch das erste Mal ist über die Spur, das 9,5 bis 10, so in die Richtung. Ja.
From a technical standpoint, everybody throws so well these days. They slide straight out at the broom. They put good releases on. So in the days gone by, you used to beat teams because you were superior on a technical. Now with everybody's skill set being so high, you really have to pay attention to the small details to have your team be successful.
Innerhalbter.
Oui. Wow.
Innerhalbter.
Kal. Kal. Wow. 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 Wow.
Erhole. Weit.
Das ist weit.
Okay, gut.
Gut, Sven.
Ja.
Weißt du, wenn er abschnitt, ich muss mega aufpassen, dass es nicht wieder darauf zurückkommt.
Ja.
Läuft okay, oder?
It was very nicely played, and he had a lot of rotation and a fair amount of weight, and still curled up, so they're still finding the spots on this ice.
Michael's going to ignore that stone at the back of the house and try and use his corner guard to get one buried on the side.
En den Andi. Zo naar vorne 4.
Hard. Hard.
He really wants to keep his stones in front of the tee line.
Keep going, keep going. Keep going. Nice.
Not too nice
Daar
ones
is
about
zeer
that
niet naar
one.
kaart
It's
voorbij,
behind
dat is
cover,
niet
but
zo
it
go
also has
eigenlijk.
a bit of an angle on the redstone. that
Vind je
keeps
goed?
that 12,
Wenn
so
eigentlich um kaart tikt,
a little bit
völlig
hard to
okay.
remove.
En 40 ranking. Niet zo.
This is an either or,
Enough!
just
Oui.
trying to
Enough,
tackle
yes,
the
sir.
house, but if you chip the guard,
Oui.
it's not so
Out.
bad.
Out. Oui.
Shout!
Oh. Oh. Kal. 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 Kal.
Kom ja. Ver.
Merci.
Ver. Ver, ver.
He got away with a little bit of a plan B because of the speed of the stone. They rubbed the corner guard but rolled in right behind the center guard, although it is behind the tee line. Michael Brunner's going to have to deal with it, I think.
Freeze op de ene kant, ik zie niet uit.
Terug af. Oder was?
Wat staat voor aan uit? Zo gaan we aan uit.
Ich glaube, es ist generell ein bisschen heftig
so.
zu wie gestern.
Wat jij goed? Ah, ja.
Die heute Morgen.
Van Chalasta. Kom maar nou, ja. Vindt hij nog goed? Goed. Backline.
Yep.
Romano Keller-Meyer getting ready in the hack. He's probably the only guy around that he grew up right in this area, and there's actually pictures of him in the club as a small child playing around with the curling stones.
Backline. Out.
Uit. Uit. Uit.
Ja, ja.
Niet dead. Keep going, keep going. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. Fix it. Good bad.
That was some great brushing. That looked like pretty tight ice to
Nice
me
job,
when the broom went down, so very
Goed
nice
job,
job
Tom
to get
Tuchel.
that by the guard.
Danke, oder? Wegen dem
Yellowstones are sitting
Ach,
2
ja.
for Brunner.
So.
Ja, nu niet super.
Falls dir, was war für Nose?
Well, the pebble's still pretty fresh on this sheet. It's only being the second end. It probably isn't worn down yet. And the temperature of the ice is
Ja, dat is super.
holding up.
Ja. Net weniger, glaube ich.
Ja, voll. Ja, aber der Job hätte mir jetzt nicht gemacht. Nein. Einen von diesen zwei müssen wir bewegen.
Nüni.
Perfekt.
Roll oben drauf.
Throwing a 9-second hit, that's the hog-to-hog measure of the time. See how much spin he gets on the first hit, how it comes off that Yellowstone.
Attention. Kal. Kal. Garde. Kal. Garde. Garde. Pousse.
A little too thick and over the top of the. You see Sven trying to sweep his own rock back there because he doesn't want to really build a wall. He's trying to get it out. Now there's quite a wall of redstones back there that aren't of any good to Team Schwaller.
8-2.
8-2 auch.
Wir müssen eigentlich gleich
Ja.
suchen.
Mit 9 war es schon gut.
Ich habe schon richtig stark, ich würde sagen, also.
Ja. Oh,
Ja.
das glaube ich, das ist so
Gut.
Aber ich ab und zu nicht.
Genau
Ich
die.
bin sicher, aber ja, ist schon
14,5 bitte.
upper weight eher.
So here's
They're
the
going to go
tricky
around the
part.
corner
You
guard.
want to
Probably
spread the
won't
reps
sit.
it.
Machen wir das Flöppeli.
Ihr könnt auch, wenn wir ein bisschen
Yeah,
offen
he
sind,
won't be
müssen wir
second shot.
reinfliegen,
That's the
gell?
tricky part. You could go around the center guard, either turn and sit
Immer
two,
die abheilen.
but you can tell the respect for these teams because you're afraid of grouping them, leaving a run back or a double or something that will get Schwaller out of trouble.
Das ist Dropkin. Also, Minimum.
Really important that he gets this rock at least to the tee line so he doesn't set up a double.
Richtig gut. Wend den an die. Wend den an die. Schön auf die. Nein, Römer. Hi.
Nicht, oder?
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Sicher nicht. Das darf auch nicht.
Weiter. Gut.
So.
So.
Ja. Ja, das ist kein Wahl, no?
Nein. Ja, aber wir liegen nicht drüber.
Nee, ja.
They didn't
in
even
there,
get
but it
third
is
shot
fourth
on that,
shot.
so
No,
12 finde ich sehr gut, ja.
that's tricky.
Das denkst du 12 so ist?
Ich glaube, es ist weit, oder?
Gut. Ich bin noch.
Wie ist da, ja.
Ja.
In general, you can bring them quite a lot.
yeah, to bring that guard or rock just thrown into play, he's going to have to move both of those red stones plus the one that's about to come out of play.
Outplayed. Wie finde ich das?
That's the interesting thing about watching the setup in strategy. We talk about how many stones you need to remove in order for that one to count. Well, then you count backwards from the fourth last, fourth second last, etc., and you decide how many stones you need to make that happen. That was a pretty aggressive call to go in as potentially third shot, but in this case fourth shot, and still think you can score that stone.
Wait! No,
His option would have been up around the center guard to the top 4 foot,
Vas-y, pas blower.
which I think might have been
Pousse!
a better call in this case.
Mais...
Geht mir noch nicht auf.
C'est bien. C'était vraiment la bonne glace pour 12 et demi.
Der vorhin war schnell, mein 9. Das war 8-2.
Elfi!
Je crois que...
11,5.
Schon mal bald.
Das war Whyte.
Genau, 6.
11,6.
Geht auch, ja. Ist fast besser. Bald.
Nein, also das ist ein Check-out. Also...
Mir eigentlich schon noch Power. Ist einfach vielleicht zu schnell.
You still have to keep in mind if you're Brunner, the goal is 2. You don't have to go crazy and make sure that yellow one that's in the house scores. There's still lots of time to get a couple in behind cover.
Oh, Römer.
Sur Flumen.
Oh, Römer. Oh, Römer. Hi, Römer. Hi. 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 Okay.
Very nicely done.
Freeze ist sehr gut.
Ja.
Das ist wie alles, weißt du noch?
Genau,
So
ja, ja.
I like to try and tell teams that in most ends, the first 5 stones that you play are setup stones, and the last 3 stones are potential scoring stones. So you set up with the first 5 and score with the last 3. With last stone, without last stone, you set up with the first 5 and then prevent the opposition from scoring or steal with the last 3. There's kind of 2 parts to every end, 5 and 3.
Aber ich zeige. Magst du das?
One of the things you do have to do in those setup shots is constantly be scanning the house because these teams can play so many different kinds of shots. This is a freeze attempt from Mouat. They can play the upright, so you always have to be looking at the environment of the house and the stones out in front and seeing what you're making, but also what you're leaving the opponent in that setup procedure.
Linie muss voll durch bis zum Schluss.
Wow.
Also, mindestens Shot.
Very
Besser
short.
ist nicht möglich.
Gell? Ja, excuse.
Ja, immer.
14-9.
Das ist mir so viel.
Welche Seite?
Der gleich wie now. Ja, weil wenn wir da sind, leider auch.
Now, a lot of you might think that Brunner might take a shot at a double on those back two to bring the Yellowstone into play, but he doesn't want to leave Benoit a freeze to the button to get out of end. So he's going to ignore those back two stones. He's probably given up on scoring that side stone, and he's going to try and score the last 3 stones of the end. He's by coming in now on his own and trying to freeze his own Yellowstone. So it would be a mistake to play a double on the back two. It would leave Benoit an out, the same shot. So the more aggressive call and the smarter call is to play the draw in yourself, give up scoring that outside yellow one, and try and score your last 3.
We'll see what kind of thoughts they have about the weight and why Benoit came up so short, if it's a piece of ice or a stone. It picked something up. So I think that's the conversation they're probably having at the hack.
Early!
The split time is between the hog lines. There's so many places that you can think about, especially the skip, where you could leave a mistake. You can't have that in your head. You have to be thinking about the positive. Where does this go? That'll be the best for our team.
Yep, line.
Yep, Pfister. Yeah. I will promise.
Ja?
Super Gösgens, Jungs.
Mit dem Freeze.
Real problem now for Team Schwaller.
Okay, also. Ich finde 3 Minuten einfacher, oder? Aber klar.
Geht aber auch nicht. Also.
They're trying to prevent 3 now. They probably conceded 2.
Ja, das ist nicht so.
Ich weiß, was wir
Glaube, ja.
When you throw last, you really kick yourself. When you come up short on that one, Al, the one that he just threw is actually a double guard and doesn't leave a run back or any use of those stones out in front.
Yeah. So he's going to try and freeze on that top one and make it really difficult for Brunner to get 3. He's conceding the 2. This one's got to be in the house, though, because otherwise Brunner will play that double at the back for a handful.
This is the last track for the Schwaller team here in the second end, and they are in a bit of trouble.
Benoit Schwartz. Van Berkel is the last thrower for Team Schwaller. Has been for years.
Müssen wir drum, können wir da freezen? Können wir da freezen? Oh.
Tried to go behind and get a better angle and rubbed instead.
Das war verdammt geil gewesen, weißt du gerade?
Ja. Was haben wir da durch Abschluss gesehen? Dadurch haben wir Hex gesehen und Stefan Brunner hat Backline.
Ja gut, ich bin wahrscheinlich...
I'm not sure who is shot rock there.
Ja. Ich will es Hacker so.
Okay.
Ja.
Theoretisch kann schauen nur minus 12.
Ich habe das Gefühl, Hacker ist schon gut. Es ist ein bisschen
Also
kontrollierbar, das ist nicht
Anfang das Kommando gegeben.
A similar kind of shot that he had in the first end.
Wegen dem so kurz ist, überrascht mich komplett.
I was just thinking the same thing, and once again, that could be a positive thing where you know the feel of the weight, but the last one didn't work in the last end, so can't think about that. Just throw a clean rock towards that target.
Ja, voll. Wenn es auf der Spatze bis 3/4, dann fangen wir an berühren.
Called hack weight. Main object is to get that rock out of the house. I'll be throwing about an 11-second shot here.
Yep.
Maybe a 10.5.
Close.
Yep.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Go, clean.
Perfect weight and perfect throw, and it's a big 3.
Nice, Ulrich. Nice.
Ik kan ook willen, dat is zo goed komen. Ik ga tegen me op, dus kan normaal.
Moi, je pense que c'est une ligne différente.
Goed, zo'n Frankse.
Ja,
Mais,
Denk nog zo'n type.
zo is 2 voor mij. Zo mini stenen.
Ja. Nice, ja.
Straal blijven.
Ja.
Bieten zo.
Ja.
Ja, want sowieso betekent.
Non, non, les universels, les super
Ja, doch.
Allee, hij stopt.
Ja. Waar Schuss mit Wellner? Ja. Jungs, 2 zurück. Schön im Spiel. Einfach im Spiel.
Je pense que la première fois parce qu'il y a plus ça.
So Team Brunner has really controlled this game so far. Schwaller's team hasn't been quite as sharp as they would like to be. Find themselves down 3. This is going to be their first opportunity with last stone, and I think you'll find them play relatively aggressively in order to get a deuce and get this game tied up.
Yeah, there was just that crowdfunding that came up. There's many curling rinks around the world that need help because their equipment is starting to fail. It's getting older and it's very expensive. The condenser in Canada can cost $200,000. So any help you can provide to the Baden Curling Club and their efforts to improve their equipment, we very much appreciate it.
Actually, one of the sponsors on the wall is the local bank, so that never hurts to have a bank as your sponsor. Sure, they can negotiate some reasonable loan rates.
I think sometimes we take for granted, though, the curling club, the wonderful ice. Switzerland has a lot of terrific facilities, and it is expensive to make ice, and keep the equipment running. So, be sure to support your local curling club.
Linie again, good. Then we start.
Komt oké. Halbe 4.
Linie is goed. Then we start. Curl nog een curl. Hard curl.
Center guard, corner guard, come around. Very traditional start to the end.
2 perfectly placed stones by Andy Gerlach.
Ja, vielleicht, aber obwohl er geht ja immer weiter raus.
Linie gut. Köhler. Hovenskate, Köhl. Köhl, muss Köhler.
Most men curlers are aware of how well their opponent is curling, and a little personal motivation is to out-curl them. So you see the 2 leads are having a little competition against each other. The 2 seconds have a little competition against each other. Not openly, but most men curlers know how their opponent is playing and do their best to match them shot for shot. I don't know if women think that way or not. Linda?
It depends on the player. Some players like to do that matchup, and other people like to focus on their own shot making. It's a mental skill. So you have to think about what makes you your best.
Keep going.
Right. Goed speelt.
One thing I do encourage, if you're not playing your best in a game, don't just accept that. Think about doing a different thing. So if you're playing, just thinking about your own shots, maybe try that idea of the matchup with the other opponent, the opposing lead second, third, or fourth, and see if that makes your shot making any better. Always be looking to incorporate a mental skill that will get you playing your best.
Relax! Limbia!
Minimum. I thought so.
Very nice series of shots this end. Schwaller with the hammer is looking to try and utilize that corner guard, playing a freeze here. But it will come up short.
Come up a little short. Team Schwaller not on their A game at the moment. So they're going to have to dig down deep and find out where it is.
That's another thing you and I talk about a lot, is when draw weight is not working. So quite often we see teams use stopwatches and split times. Sometimes they refer back to how it feels under their foot or how it feels compared to their home ice. But whatever is happening, once again, if it's not working, don't keep hammering away at the same information. Change something up. Give their players a new piece of information that might help.
Give you an update on the other games. I think they're all being streamed. However, for those people who are maybe not paying attention to those other games, I'll tell you on sheet 1 that Edin got 1 in the first and then stole 2 in the second over Team Kapp from Germany, so he leads 3-0. On sheet 3, Whyte had hammer in the first end and scored it, and Retornaz came back with only a 1 in the second end, so Whyte leads that stone 2-1, playing the third with last stone. And on rink 4, they're playing speed curling. Mouat got 2 in the first end with hammer. Bosley came back with his own 2 in the second, and they completed the third end now. And Mouat's posted another deuce, so he leads that game 4-2 after 3 ends.
Schwaller recognizes it's time to make a move on those center rocks, trying the run back. Leaves the guard out in front, does get the 1 out of the house. So when Al was talking about the 5 setup shots and the 3 scoring shots, there is that moment even within the 5 where you look at a bailout if it's not working. It's not necessarily that you're going to stick with that original plan for all 5 setup shots. You might have to make a switch, so that was Schwaller making a little switch. Unfortunately, he did leave the guard and leaves another come around.
Achtung! Linie gut! Schön tief, Linie ist gut! Ein Platz! Ja, wollen wir probieren.
Ist gut, Janika.
So. Nein, gut so.
Okay.
Ja. Ja, oder das.
Ich kann mega weit. Also wenn das geht, dann kann das der Call,
Können wir mit dem Chase Second oder einen Shot warten? Können wir mit dem Chase Shot warten überhaupt?
Was klein?
Ja.
Ja.
Out. Out.
Der muss bewegen, oder?
Ja.
Out.
Ja, ich habe schon noch oben,
Ja.
so ein bisschen härter ist.
Ja. Ja, ja, innen. Das ist innen. Out länger, ja.
Da wollen wir auch innen so auf die
Ja, ja, genau. Ich glaube, das ist auch wichtig. Das ist normaler,
So können wir Shot warten hinten. Hinten dran, nein. Findest du nicht gut?
Ich habe gesehen,
Das Wart ist relativ hoch.
das ist 14 abgelaufen, aber das ist passiv und vor.
Also das geht schon.
So they debated the run back or the soft takeout, and they've gone with the soft takeout, trying to hit the top, stone at the top of the 8-foot, and roll over toward the stone behind the tee line at the back of the 8-foot.
Yes! Oui!
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 Pablo getting to work on this stone.
That's that shovel action that he uses, trying to get the most out of holding the stone's line.
Pablo's a big, tall guy, so he can put a lot of leverage on that handle of the brown.
Ziemlich, es gibt uns richtig viel Raum im Ball. Man kann nicht zurückrollen, das geht nachher hinten drauf. Oder?
So yellow indicated they're still sitting 2.
Ja.
According to Michael Brunner, he believes he's still sitting 2. However, the Yellowstones are rolled behind the tee line and usable by Team Schwaller.
Ja, genau, Nase! Gut! Sani so!
Ich habe Welle.
Sani.
Egal ob mit Dropkin oder nicht.
War geil gewesen.
Team Brunner is really communicating the shot well from the house back to the hack. It's really important that everybody is on the ice, is on the same page with what weight we're throwing and what the shot actually is.
Nog een meter sneller, dat goed. Dan is het zoveel misverstand. Dat vind ik gelijk.
Andy! Wow! Andy! Nee, rummen! Wow! Clean! Super.
Yeah, it is 4 yellows. Brunner sitting 4 at the moment. Not a dangerous looking house. Maybe not so pleasant to look at it if you're throwing red, but they're not in dangerous positions because, as you mentioned, 3 of them are behind the tee line. And they're just in the 8 foot.
Okay. Ja, nee, ik vind het dagegen, ja.
Yeah, to bring that red into play, you've got to make all those 4 yellows disappear. And as I said, they're probably not doing that at this point, trying to figure out how they can score 2 of their last 3.
Wat genau hier?
Ich glaube, es steht nicht gelb. Iets lieber uit.
Je staat gern nachher, oder? Ja.
Okay. Wir sind ja third nachher immer noch.
Aber das ist nicht im Spiel dann, ja. Ist beides gut, weißt du?
Gut.
Beides gut. Ja, ich schwöre, beides super.
Ein Achti.
Du musst,
Ich muss fast ein Clearing, dass ich rollen und den Doppel machen, nicht?
Yannick's still thinking about how he might bring that into play. He's thinking to make a double right now on 2 of the yellows.
9 geht nicht.
Also 9 ist sicher mit 3 Viertel bis mindestens.
Ja, aber im 9.
I think Benoit was saying both are good, hit or draw. The only problem with the draw is the card is very long. So you'd probably be thinking about trying to get it in front of one of the yellows at the back of the 8 foot for some protection.
Ein Achti.
8, super, Yannick.
So they're going to play it with heavier weight so they can get a better roll. Try to make the double and roll over toward the center behind the guard.
Gut so.
Wenn er nur mit Third ist, kann man wahrscheinlich schon drauf. Und dann kommt der Fall, wie gut, dass man rundum kann werfen. Aber der Draw wäre schon noch.
Finde ich auch.
Wow! Attention! Oui! Oui! Allez, Pablo! Pousse! Wow!
It's a little too thinly and jammed on the back one and rolled over, leaving still 3 yellows in the house,
Ja, voll, ja.
which are not really in any kind of good angles to remove with one shot.
Liegt dann noch gefährlich. Wir eher noch so ein bisschen da, so halb offen mäßig.
Ja, dann können wir
Von mir
das
so
so.
Ja, das ist angenehmer für dich. Ja, ich will von der Seite.
Now always thinking about where the best place is.
Du stehst doch für deinen 6.
Trying to add to that frustration because you can tell Yannick is really frustrated. Benoit had a bad miss last end and this one didn't work out. It's not this end, it's not improving the situation. He was looking for something, even if he jammed it, but to try and open things up in a position where he could get behind the cover better, and it really hasn't changed anything.
Kann er gut halb offen sein.
When deciding where to put this next stone, I often ask the teams to think about where would the opposition least like to see a stone,
Ja, so.
and then put it there. Which stone, where can we put a stone that will cause the opposition the most problems? And then try and put it in that location. Michael Brunner, I think, trying to get to the top 4 foot here.
This is one of those where I'd rather not over curl because that might leave some of the rock exposed on the easier side, the entering side. It's not even going to get by.
Just a little bit light.
Guard.
It's a good place now because even if Schwaller does come around, he will have the run back with that stone.
Du bist?
Ja, ja, okay. Ja, also perfekt. Nein, jetzt überlegen noch. Ja, genau. Sorry.
Da muss er immer noch navigaten dort, weißt du?
Das ist nicht anything so.
Das tust alles
Benoit's trying to see that if they over curl the shot, curl a little and pass the red guard, and even get it tucked further behind the yellow that just stopped, that run back will not be as simple.
Oh, 14. Oh, 14, parfait.
I think he's trying to get this one halfway between the red guard and the yellow guard that's out in front so that neither is straight back. Or perhaps even get it behind the yellow one a little bit more.
It has lots of finish, this ice, so it would be possible to do that.
Push!
Platz.
Linie!
This looks
Curl!
like it's on a pretty good line if they can get it there.
Pretty good.
Das ist gut, das geht nicht so gut. Warte, was ist das? Ja, das Problem ist, wenn man das darf, ist er schon. Oder also vielleicht den.
The two options are the draw or the hit. They're looking at that run back to see how much of the yellow is visible to try and run it onto shot stone.
He also pointed at possible in off his own, roll in off his own. The whole forefoot is open, and with the finish that you get there, I think they can get this buried at the back of the button.
Jetzt Gefühl, da siehst du zu wenig, oder? Also die Frage ist entweder so irgendetwas oder das. Das Gute ist mit dem Stick, wenn man dort vorne schaut und er das second wahrscheinlich. Andere wäre so. Okay. Ja, dann müssen wir gerade das da. Das finde ich jetzt ein bisschen unnötig. Das finde ich jetzt ein bisschen unnötig. Oder so. Also dann haben wir das gleiche Problem. Egal was wir da machen.
This looks like a four-man discussion. I like to try and coach the teams that I work with that the lead and the second should come down, give their input, and then trust that their back end has all the information and will pick one of the shots. So come down, give your information, and then get the heck out of the way.
They decided on the run back. I would not play the in-off. I think if you want to get a rock in behind the yellow-red combination, your easiest way to do that is to draw, not to hit. But they've played the run back, and that is fine, as they feel like they know the ice.
They can hit this one just slightly off center early, which will get the red out of play. It might go off the back yellow one, but it'll get it out of play and leave the raised stone completely buried.
Yep! Hey! Hey!
Pas de mehr, oder?
Ja. Auch ein Call ist, wenn der Draw schwierig ist, ein Hit aufstehen, ja?
Der Draw ist sicher nicht, das ist nie im Weg, oder?
Gut, sag es nur.
Ja. Nein, merci.
So we're going to leave Benoit the same shot, basically, he just had for a deuce.
Apparemment, c'est 14-6 avant. Apparemment, ja.
I kind of think Michael must have been a little bit narrow because they kind of called that right out of his hand.
And skate.
It is an all or none shot when you wreck on the guard. There's no other option left. That is the one benefit of trying a draw, but he's left the draw for Benoit now for a deuce.
Livia! Achtung, wir sind tight! Linui! Nur Länge! Nur Länge! Alle Lin! Lin! Good.
And no mistake.
And I think at this point, Team Schwaller will feel really happy about being tied up in this game, the way the ends have proceeded.
Dass ich 14-2 kann, also es ist schon speziell.
Also das hat mir überrascht, dass du das sagst. Also ich habe eigentlich gut. Ich bin happy gesehen.
However, Team Brunner should feel good about themselves too. They've managed to turn the hammer into themselves on even ends. They started the game on hammer on odd ends, so now they tied up and hammer on even ends. So they've gained kind of a half stone advantage and have control of the game.
That last end does show you how quickly things can turn around, though. It wasn't going well for the Schwaller team. Then they get a couple of great shots from Benoit, and they get their deuce.
Linie gut?
Ja, das ist gut, denke ich.
Ja, das haben wir schon alle ein bisschen.
Nein, halt!
Hello.
Genau der.
Linie ist gut.
Throwing a guard here. It's interesting to watch the releases. We're getting a lot of rotation now from all the top players, but these two teams don't throw a little bit differently. Brunner's team are more off the very back of the handle, putting the rotation on very late. So you might get a little bit of different curl between the two teams.
I coach players, I tell them that the handle of a curling stone is basically just a lever and has two ends to it. You can apply the rotation off the front of the lever or the back of the lever. Both work well. Oscar Ericsson's probably the one who started working mostly with the back of the handle and been very successful with it. Now I see a lot of other players doing the same thing. And neither is right or wrong. It's just what you're comfortable with. It's just a tool that has two ends that work equally well.
It is nice when the whole team throws in a similar fashion for ice reading purposes, but we all know that that doesn't always happen, and it's up to the skip to be able to read the ice and the player and be able to figure out where to put the broom.
Yeah, everybody's got their own idiosyncrasies about how they throw.
Same pattern here, center guard, corner guard, come around. You can see that one is more off the back of the handle with Andy.
Yeah, very strong body position, shoulders are very square, and yeah, all lines are in line with the target. Right.
Take the guard, but it didn't move off the center line, and so that's acceptable.
Touch kids,
And it moved it far enough that the one in the house is now pretty well fully accessible.
Another reminder about the curling club Baden needing your support for some equipment purchases if you're able to do it.
Oui. 11,5. Oui. Oh. Come. Oh. Sorry, is een beetje veel switch. Ospa.
Ja, gaat.
Wat zo?
Super.
Nice roll. The double is there. Team Brunner, I believe.
It's pretty tricky with that guard.
Yep.
Het is wirklich möglich.
Hi.
Just out of
Playing the run back.
What?
Brunner? On est là?
Ja, ja.
Well, they got rid of stone in the house, and the good news is now the stone in front is their own, so if it runs back, they're running back their own stone.
Een Fries kan erop bij, die even clearen. We moeten een
It's also moved out almost a foot, so you have a little more room to get by and play a tap back if that is allowed later, depending on what happens here.
Didn't make contact behind, so. Hij is ook klein. Jetzt gaat zeker.
See another great delivery, square shoulders, coming straight out at the target and releasing straight through the broom.
8. Lien. Ja, 4. Vast. Länge is goed.
Linie goed.
Ja, het is vast.
Ik zie me nog tight.
Fast freeze. Het is freeze. Freeze.
Oui. 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 Lien.
Ja,
Zo goed. Ik denk, we kunnen veel wijzigen, Libans. Nee, het spot is goed.
We gaan nog een beetje lijn.
Ik heb tijd.
That came a little further than they expected or wanted, but it also curled very nicely, so it is behind cover.
Close.
Dus je passeert richtige...
Nee, ja.
Curl.
Ben je verstandig.
Playing the run back, got rid of both stones. And the guard is now 2 stones further up than it was before, so there's going to be lots of room to get around it. Slow motion replay.
That's the tricky way to make it. Got the little tick on both of them off the run back. But it worked.
Zoveel?
Yeah, not always how you draw it up, but at the end of the day, it did work.
India. Piste 4, c'est parfait.
Michael Brunner with the hammer in this fourth
On est
inning.
là. Un peu
The
de
score
place.
is 3-3. It hasn't been posted from the third
Retourne
end
les
yet.
ça carassé, hein. Ça carassé. Toujours Pablo. 13-5. Non, il faut pas. Non. Il marque Centerline.
Ja.
Yep.
Ik hoop dat ze fix.
So.
Right.
I might be tempted to try and hit this one and roll way over to the side and force Team Schwaller to hit it way on the side, then go around the center one yourself.
You would have noticed on that last one, they were very careful not to brush it too far. They didn't want it behind the tee line, so they waited till the last minute to get the curl behind cover and not take it too deep.
Yep. What?
Unbedingt.
Curl.
Das mag er aber nicht.
Curl. Hard, Andy. Hard. Stop.
But that way, they were trying to come to the nose.
Now, I don't think they're ever going to get buried on that, so as I said, I think perhaps if they had hit that, rolled way over to the side of the 8-foot or even the 12-foot, I think Schwaller might have been forced to hit it, and then you would have had to guard your own, be able to go around your own guard, top of the 4-foot, get your deuce.
Zare 12 kann, das ist gut so. Ja. Rolle ist schwierig, aber wir probieren es. Nose ist auch gut.
So Yannick is playing the quiet shot.
Pablo. Oui.
Wow, wow. Girl.
Girl. Girl. Girl, c'est parfait. That's right.
Ich will ihn rausnehmen. Genau gleich lang.
It's a nice series of tap backs. They're playing just enough weight to get those stones out of the rings.
Wo ist rot, weiß, blau?
How was the summer? Oh, sorry.
Bei mir ist es genau umgekehrt. Blau, weiß, rot. Andi!
Probably see out of the corner of your eye that there's a 3-3 score on sheet 1. Kapp came back with a 3 in the third end to tie that game up.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hide!
Come on, push it.
Oops. Fortunately, they didn't get that one hard enough to get out of the house, which I think would have been the main objective. Get that one out and roll over, and it keeps the blank alive at worst. Now the blank is probably not in the picture.
And on top of that, your two Yellowstones are guards on Shot Rock, and now the team that has Shot Rock is able to get another one under cover.
Yeah, I think they can come around quite well with the other turn. They're going to take the same turn.
Right, oder?
Yeah. Sorry. Mr. Paul, second.
I'm trying to get this rock half around the top Yellowstone, top 4 foot.
Oh. Mit Wische das Gat. Ja, mit Wische das Gat. Ja, ja.
Because before I was like, boy, in Alpha you said that back line, if it stays in
No, you just pushed it to here. I was like,
After that short stone in the second end, and Mouat made two lovely draws last end.
Hovenskate!
I didn't notice whether they switched stones out or not. He might not be throwing the same 2 that he started the game with.
Oui! Wow! Girl, jetzt! Girl! Allez, Fuß! Super!
Yeah.
He's got 2 he likes now.
He certainly does. Beautiful shot.
That's one thing for the teams to really focus in on during their pre-game practice and at the end of the first end and second end, is to talk about the stones. As we find that in almost every set, there's probably at least one rogue stone in there that might have a sharper edge and it doesn't curl or run the same. And it's important to find that rogue stone in the first or second end, not in the 7th or 8th end.
Yeah, it's important not to ignore it. Just to think, oh, it's me, I'm doing something wrong. You have to talk about it as a team. Well, this is not the shot you want to be playing when you're trying to score with the hammer. Having to use your guard as a run back.
And double run back at that. So he's trying to hit the guard onto the 1 in the house, onto the 2 in the 4 foot. High degree of difficulty. He's actually made things a little bit worse by rolling over there. Now they can guard up the other side, or either guard that run back or put a 3rd stone in the house. It's a pretty short run back for the top, one at the top of the 8 foot. So I think they've chosen to guard that one. And that won't leave Brunner much options. He'll have to maybe settle for drawing for 2nd shot and give up a steal. And as I said earlier, I think the error came when he tried too hard on the 3rds to come around and hit that on the nose. And they didn't push it far enough. I think the smarter call would have been hit and roll wide open with a little more weight. And then either forced Schwaller to hit that stone or ignore it, but it would have been an open shot for getting the stone out of the house, or at worst case a blank. And so this has happened as a result of that one decision.
It's not a perfect guard.
That's not a great guard. I think it does the job.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's their best bet, though, is to play the backline weight and try and move their Yellowstone into the one on the button. I don't think they can outdraw that shot with the other turn.
One of the reasons this is makeable is that guard is very long, but it is a very tricky shot. Coming back down to look at it again.
He settled in the hack and really didn't like the looks of it.
So plan B is
He's going to try and
get second shot.
Yeah, he might be able to spin one in there. If it spins at the end, he might be able to get shot, but I think right now he's resigning. He'd be happy to get this full 4 foot and give up a steal of 1.
Ja, schöne T-Line.
So for the Brushers, their job is to sweep this rock to the tee line.
Of the two options, this has a lot more opportunity to be made. And those raises are really tough, and if he raised it at an angle that Yellowstone has top 12, it would not outcount either of the two stones that are in the rings belonging to Schwaller.
Linie gut! Achtung, Linie! Nein, Linie gut! Linie gut, bis die! Bis die!
Brushers seem to like the speed. Yeah, we give a steal of 1.
Try.
Great draw. But a little deflating when you know you're only drawing for second shot and the other team's got a steal. So the Team Schwaller has stolen control of this game from Brunner. Team Schwaller now is up 1 after even ends. That gives them control. We'll update you on the other games that are going on.
Thank you.
On sheet 3, Retornaz stole 1 in the third end to tie the game with Whyte, but Whyte came back with a deuce in the fourth to reestablish his 2-point lead. In the Mouat game, they're sprinting out ahead. Mouat stole 1 on the fourth end to take a 5-2 lead over Team Høstmælingen. And Team Kapp and Team Edin, you can see out of the corner eye, they're still in the process of completing their fourth end.
3 bis 12. Ich finde 2. 2,5. Linie gut. Übergöllen eher. Ja, ist auf Team besser. Ja, ein bisschen weniger. Es göllen eher zu viel. Wie immer. Das ist lustig, das steht. Das ist wirklich lustig. Ja.
Just confirming that it's not touching center line, in case that's an important thing for one of these next two stones.
And Brunner's staying with the same tactic that he's used for 3 of the 4 ends that he's had hammer.
It's good.
Going for the corner guard.
Keep it moving.
And they want these fairly tight to the house because, as we've seen, the longer the guard is, you can get to stones that are buried behind it. They're trying to get that up another meter closer near the logos.
Bien sûr.
Linie gut. 8. Vorne 4. Nur Länge. Fast hin. 4 Fuß. Linie ist perfekt. Ja. Achtung, Benoit, es wird tight. Du musst nicht wischen. Es wird nur tight. Gut.
Okay.
The reason that Yannick said it was a little tight is you can see how it over curled the guard and is sticking out what, half to 2/3 on the other side. Just tons of curl on that turn.
Huh? Yeah. Good. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Now whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Playing
Yep.
a tap back.
Yes. Whoa. 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 Just clean. Just clean. Pretty good. Super.
Notice on that shot that the player asked for a little less ice. Everybody reads their ice and they have a feeling about spots. And Michael Brunner happily obliged and gave him a broom less broom, and shot was made. So it's important that everybody on the team has a little bit of skip in them and knows what the paths are doing across the ice.
Slow to the clay.
Es ist wirklich tough.
And then you really want to make it because you don't want to ask for different ice and then have the shot not be successful.
Oui.
Remember, Wayne Madaw used to tell his players that they were allowed to ask for different ice anytime they wanted, and he would happily oblige. But if the shot was missed, that was their last chance for the game. You're allowed one. If you ask for less ice or more ice and miss the shot, you don't get to ask anymore.
C'est pas trop malvenu non plus, mais.
Aber 12 da.
And that was a team rule.
Punch out. Ja.
I'm just looking at the ice and thinking about guard placement, and it looks like this is the favorite turn, this left to right movement around the center guard going this direction. So I'd be really thinking about it if I'm both teams. You can move that guard around to make it harder for the other team to be successful. This one's going to chip the guard off, not a bad shot. Plan B.
I think it's going to stay in for a biter. Ooh, it even got a big spin at the end. Big spin at the end.
Drinkt u afgesteed. Ik zeg het nu niet. Liever daar.
The shot rock belonging to
Schwaller
Brunner
doesn't
is
like that.
not in a good place.
Yeah, Schwaller doesn't like that Yellowstone being in the house as a potential for later on, so he's gonna make a play on it. It is possible to hit that top stone. It is possible to hit that top stone and drive the yellow back onto the one at the back of the house.
Werkspuit.
Lijkt ziemlich knal drauf.
Ja, dat is egal momentan.
It will get a little bit of drag effect on that one if and when they do play it.
But really that yellow one's in a poor position with the red in front of it, so Michael's desperately looking around trying to figure out how to get a rock in a better spot, so that's why he's playing the freeze on the side rock.
Yep. Linie square, schön Sonne. Keep going, Andy. Keep going. Runterteppe. Whoa, Tony. finish it, finish it. Good.
Well, I outcounted the back one, but other than that, it's not very helpful.
Wobei, gell, es ist 2/3.
Clearing.
Ich glaube, es ist schon, wir spielen das sicher.
Clearing, 2 Drittel.
He's trying to hit this on the center line side to
Ja, genau.
get the yellow rock moving in a more direction to the side of that red stone at the back of the house so it doesn't jam. I think he'll probably split it off and be happy with that as long as the yellow goes on the plate.
Go. Whoa.
So, throwing big weight at it.
Wait.
Trying to get the other yellow as well. Yep, made them all go away.
It's all about understanding your angles, and that's something is a couple of practice sessions of understanding angles and where strokes go off impact is really important.
There's been a big change in this game, not only on the scoreboard, but you can feel the momentum too. With early on, Benoit struggled second end, did not play a couple of good shots. But it's really turned around as far as shot making, but also just to feel whether your team is frustrated or feeling confident.
Super.
Those reds, the top two reds in front of the tee line are in a place where they can be doubled.
Also wenn Chase geht, das wäre schon der Code, aber jetzt auch.
Chase ist einfach zwei. Gut, vielleicht kannst du Steering spielen, ganz ehrlich.
It's almost the curler's favorite angle is a half stone double, and that's about what they have with those two red stones. And Team Schwaller knows that.
Geil wäre ja schon, wenn wir ihn behalten. Nicht, dass er mit einem Hit and Roll so viel Platz hat. Wobei, weißt du, das ist ja. Hearing, Fuß, oder? Team-Tech. Weißt du, wenn das wegkommt. Hast du Mouat?
Es kommt einfach nicht, aber.
Ja.
So.
Hey, sorry, ich habe gemeint, das ist der Benoit. Wegen dem wäre die Karte nicht voll gewesen. Aber
you mentioned the options of guarding or drawing another one in, but they've gone to the option of hitting the yellow one.
Yeah. And if they make one of theirs disappear, fine. As long as they leave two in the house, they've got the force in place against Team Brunner.
Wait. Whoa. Wait.
Trying to pick it clean now. Nice shot.
Just the accuracy with that upweight is terrific.
And of course, the harder you throw it with rotation, the straighter it goes. Makes it with the curlers all sliding straight out at the target, makes it really easy to make those shots. It takes a lot of practice to develop the leg drive necessary to throw these. These stones are probably traveling down the ice in around 6 seconds between the hog lines and zero curl. They can basically put the broom where they want to hit the stone. Like I said, it takes a lot of practice to develop the skill to slide out straight with that much speed.
Ja, det müsste ich, ja. Nachher wären wir da. Er legt mir einen schwierigen Doppel, den müssen wir haben. Und dann legt er da hinten. Und den könnte man clearen.
Wenn man gerade gemacht hat, ich glaube, er hat nachher sowieso so back forward.
Ja, also wenn du so viel siehst.
Naja.
Wir haben nicht wirklich diskutiert.
Ja, es wäre da, aber...
Also, viel siehst, aber wenn du einen halben, ja.
Weißt du, mit dem Double können wir auch.
Ja, das ist klar, ja. Also, dann müssen wir so. Er legt mir einen schwierigen Doppel.
Brunner might be thinking about how he can blank this end, and I think he basically has to make that double and sit right there. Hope that Schwaller either jams the back one or sets up another double.
Dann muss er der aus.
If he doesn't play that right now, then the blank is out of play. And that might be the discussion the team is having.
Gut, ich habe das Gefühl, der ist so lang, da kann er immer wegmanövrieren.
My question would be, as a vice skip, would be, is there any way we can blank this
Das wäre
end?
schön, wenn man ein bisschen rauskäme. Ja. Aber dann würdet ihr den loswerden. Also, die letzte Variante wäre noch das da. Das wäre. Also, das Gefühl wäre das Beste. Ja, also Doppel habe ich das Gefühl, sind wir
You make this side double and try and roll to the center.
Ja. Ja. Ja, mit dem letzten vielleicht, also dem zweitletzten. Also ich habe das Gefühl, so kommt man auf 0. Einfach bis dran.
We talked about the freeze, the tap back on that stone that's on the left, top 8 foot. They talked about drawing around even shot stone to the back, but that would leave a run back. And they did talk about the hits.
I haven't heard anybody say anything about a blank,
option.
though.
No, I haven't either. I think we've looked at every option.
They're talking about. I think they're talking about making the double, still try to set up a deuce. But like I said, my question would have been, if vice skip, with 3 rocks to play, is there any way we can blank this end and go to the even ends with hammer?
So,
yep. All right.
Okay. Good.
So with these shots, they look at which turn to play.
Yep.
If you're throwing the stone and crossing the rock, it takes the other turn at a slightly different angle. And that's what they're playing, but will it push it far enough? Not quite.
No. And it's pushed it behind the corner guard so that there's no double there. The Schwaller's going to try and hit and roll to the opposite side of the button. Keep the force on. That'll be the job of Superman Benoit Schwartz.
If it does sit there, it definitely does give Brunner an advantage. He has a chance to work with that collection of stones and a guard out in front. So you want to roll away.
Sven really working this hard.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Das da. Relativ kurz, hätte ich gesagt.
Ja, der muss schon.
Ja. Aber weißt du, dass wir möglichst tief noch runterkommen? Das Heck hätte ich einfach gesagt.
Das ist mir etwas.
Brunner now does have opportunity to put some pressure on Schwaller. He can hit that stone and roll over. Maybe a rock width. Stay for shot. It's going to be really, really tough to remove. I'm not to believe that shot they're indicating they want to play.
Mega schön.
Bisschen mehr!
Kannst jetzt einfach nur. Also, einfach gerade. Genau, ja, genau, nur gerade, ja. Oder was ist deine?
Dass wir dort sicher schon bleiben.
Took a little more ice and is calling for hack weight.
We encourage any questions that you might have to throw them up on the live chat. We'll do our best to answer them. This is over curling and a little bit light.
I don't know if you remember back to the first end, but that is the shot that he had for a hit for 3. There was a guard a little bit in a better position as far as guards go, but it was exactly the same turn, exactly the same spot, and the same weight, and he was narrow on that one. So there may be a spot that he's not very happy with as far as coming out of the hack.
Ja, wenn ihr zum Kurs wie Klappe da ist, haben wir Platz, oder?
Ja, hier ist der einzige Triple da.
Na, wenn ich ein bisschen im Zollfuß sein, weißt du. Ja, also, ich würde auch nicht, aber...
Ist gut, so.
He's trying to figure out where to put his stone, make sure they don't leave any kind of triple.
Oder?
Ja, so weißt
I don't know if there would be one, as long as this gets in the house
I don't think so.
and sits for a third shot. I don't think there's any kind of triple there.
Not much pressure on the Schwaller team this end.
No, as you say, I think the momentum has shifted, and I think the players on the ice feel it. They feel that they've got control of this game, and Brunner's team probably feel like they're now fighting from behind. Whereas probably in the first 4 ends, the feeling was completely opposite.
Die Line ist noch ganz okay. Perfekt.
Well,
That's when you have to decide as a team how to face those frustrations, Al. Sometimes you have a person on the team that brings out the right words and is like the cheerleader, but somehow you have to get out of the funk that you're in and change to a more positive attitude and turn it around. And this would be a good start if you could make this draw. I mean, the score is no problem. It's a very close game, but it's just that feeling you have of how the two teams are playing.
Mini gut! Mini gut! Bisti!
The wrestlers are really working this one.
Come on,
You
get
really
it
got
there,
to
get
go
it
on this
there.
to get it there.
Wow.
They'll come up late and give up a steal of 2.
Yeah, third shot.
Ja, 2 hier. Ja.
So that one shot has probably put a big, huge elephant on top of Team Brunner. You can feel the pressure now, being behind 3 instead of tied up, and would have lifted Team Schwaller the same way as going. You know, after the first 2 ends, we were in a hole, and now we have a really comfortable lead. And now we can just bring this one home. Team Brunner asks himself all kinds of questions, is how did we get here? An update on the other games. Team Edin scored 1 in the 4th end, as you probably can see on the scoreboard, to lead 4-3. The team Whyte took 2 in the 4th end. The 5th end was blanked. So Team Retornaz continues to trail Team Whyte 4-2. And in sheet 4, they've actually completed that game. Team Høstmælingen got 1 in the 5th end. Team Mouat got 3 in the 6th end. And that was all she wrote for Team Høstmælingen. So Team Mouat moves on to the semifinals with an 8-3 victory over Team Høstmælingen.
So if I could just put my coach's hat on once more. I talked about trying to turn around the mood on the team or the feeling on the team to change the momentum that's going the way towards Schwaller. In that last end, there was not a lot of great execution, but still you get down to your last stone and you have a chance to draw for a point. And a wide open house, not a really big issue. It's really up to also Michael in that case to sit in the hack and think, what am I thinking and feeling? What do I think and feel when I want to play my best and when I know I'm performing well, and how do I close the gap? So, you know, maybe you take an extra second, maybe you do some different mental preparation, but he made a beautiful draw the end before to get second shot to the side of the button, and then he comes up short on the 12 foot on that one, playing the same side of the sheet. So you really have to think about, is there moments where my pre-shot routine has to change a little bit because things aren't going well and I have this funny negative feeling and I have to get rid of that in order to make my shot.
See, Team Schwaller are playing in the house. They don't want guards in play. They'd like to keep everything in the house. And they're going to go into their hit mode now and just basically start from the 6th, 7th, and 8th end to run Brunner out of stones.
Good.
So this game gives you chances to score, so it's not impossible to get a 2 or a 3. And in this case, they're trying to put the guards on the same side of the sheet to prevent any sort of cross-house double later.
Yeah, they'd like one long guard and one short guard.
Yeah, you really have to bear down and make every shot exactly the way you want. If the other team makes their shots a little better, well, that happens, but you have to try to do the one shot at a time routine right now if you're Brunner's team. The situation in the house is not terrible for Brunner. If those rocks sit there, you can play a freeze on them and you can get a chance to use them. So it's not a bad start to the end.
Yeah, or even double about or push them both to the back of the house so you can utilize your corner guard.
Full 8, huh? Full 8.
You probably see in the top left corner of your screen that Team Kapp has tied the score against Team Edin with a score of 1 in the 5th end.
Super. 14,5.
Brunner's got to make some red ones disappear so he can use those side yellow rocks. I think throwing a full hit in this one is...
Yes. Yeah, lots of options here.
Hit that right in the... Push the red one back and hit him right in the crotch. And push those red stones both behind the tee line. Would be a good shot.
Dik halbe.
Start.
Yep. Backline. Halt. Start. Halt. Keep going.
They're playing this with quiet weight.
Close.
Not sure I'd be doing that.
Okay.
That's something to practice too, all the teams that are listening. That was a call to move things around. And he said backline weight. Well, when you're looking at moving that much ground and trying to roll potentially behind the guard that's that far over, backline is not enough. So backline's okay if you just want to jiggle, but if you want to do more than that, you have to have a little bit more speed.
They probably should have been playing at least board weight on that. Try and move both those stones behind the tee line. Either that or full takeout so that they can utilize those corner guards. I mean, they put 2 corner guards up there. The only way you're going to get to utilize those is if you clear stones out of the 4 foot. And maybe on your 5th shot or 6th shot at the end, you're going to get a chance to go around those.
Ja, aber das geht hoch, gell?
Also
Das Loch geht's leider schon.
Also wenn du das wegnimmst, ja, macht besser, oder?
Ja.
Das ist mein einziger Input.
Eben, dass wir das vielleicht ignorieren im Moment.
Ja.
Was ist, wenn wir da ein Single machen?
Ja, Single, ja.
Single, er kann nicht wirklich ein Draw-Spiel entscheiden, weil wir haben da nicht auf. Und sonst... Ich finde es ein bisschen heiß. Wenn wir da zwischendurch schießen, etwas bewegen, dann ist er im Spiel, oder? Sonst nicht eigentlich. Ja.
Trying to decide what is the most dangerous shot that they're facing, and the corner guards will provide the best opportunity at some point this end for Michael Brunner, so the play is to try and get rid of them.
I think he's going to try and just get one, because there was a lot of danger with trying to get rid of two, of driving one of them back into the house.
Clean. What's one?
Yeah, they were just trying to get rid of the one.
You may see it happen again, though, depending on what happens here, because those corner guards do provide the best opportunity for more than one to be scored. So this time he's going to play a little more weight, I think.
Yep, I think he's trying to move the two stones in the fourth foot, at least one of them out, and maybe leave his rock that's already in the house in front of one of the other ones. Second and third and fourth.
Yep!
Just half weight.
Again, I think playing more weight would have been a better idea. They're still leaving three stones, two of them, one in front of the tee line, two of them just near the tee line, but all on the 4 foot.
Ich hau 9. 9 schöner Roll drin. Selbst der Roll drüber ist gut.
Es ist besser, wenn du das nicht bewegst.
Ja, ich glaube auch. Clean Roll da unten?
Ja.
Roll da jetzt gut. Schießt du so die anderen Bäume?
Ja, ja.
9.
Yannick is choosing to hit the Yellowstone that is in the better position as far as potentially scoring.
Attention! Non, wow!
Oui!
Oui!
Oui! Oui! Oui! Oui, pour toucher!
Wow, wow!
Wow, that one took off.
Okay. Auch keine Idee.
So the Yellowstone at the top of the house is now third shot, and those two reds are in a position that they could be doubled out.
Das ist 2 Meter nach der Hogan ist immer noch 2 Drittel aussen gewesen.
Aber das ist besser so als Touche.
Also der Tab sicher!
Ich glaube, wenn du tuschst, das ist noch drin.
Ja, der Draw ist auch nicht. Guter Lenker.
Ja, also wir könnten den Freeze probieren, aber wir müssen wahrscheinlich ein bisschen bouncen. Ja.
Ich habe gedacht,
der Freeze macht wahrscheinlich das. Ja.
Ja, das Eis wird so speziell, Mac.
Wenn du das nur wegen nimmst.
Rein 12!
Das wäre besser.
Ich will auch 8 spielen jetzt. Auf solchen Steinen, weißt du?
Ja, ja, das ja.
Weil es ist so komisch.
Das war ja nicht genug schnell gesehen, aber...
He's going to try and push that red stone at the back of the 4 foot to the back of the 12 foot. Sits second and third shot, perhaps.
Yep!
Aber Jamie ist nicht da.
Easy!
Weiß nicht, was passiert.
Yep! Yep!
Ist nicht hier.
Ha?
Yep! Hi! Hi, Dondi! Hi! Whoa, whoa! Yep, yep! No, 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 no. Super. Gut.
Soll ich direkt, oder?
Ich habe noch einen. So, Sven.
Ich glaube, weiß ich da.
Es gibt noch einen Jam, aber es kann schon raus.
Kannst du auch Clearing, aber...
Sonst, wenn ich das clear ist okay, weißt du?
Ja, wenn du das
This
verlierst,
was
ist
really
alles
curling.
Clearing.
They just got it by. Nice rushing to do so.
Also wer?
4, 5 Minuten. Ich weiß noch nicht. Ich sage dir nach dem Stein.
This is following the philosophy for Brunner, where opposition rocks are your friends. You're trying to make it so that there's a potential jam. Something can go wrong when Jannik's playing his shot.
Attention. Oui. 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 Whoa. Whoa. Carl. Bien validé.
Trying to double.
Sorry. Bien validé.
Fortunately, took their own out. Left Brunner's shot.
Merci.
Gleich hoch!
Am Schluss war ich denn.
Ja.
T-Line, ja.
Das bin ich auch schon, je pense.
Ah, c'était très bien fait.
Now he's going to use the corner guard.
Ah, ja,
The other one is shot, and it's partially guarded by that red one that was just played.
Meinst? Eher
He's
höher.
not trying to be shot here. He's trying to be third shot.
Also, dass das dann
Because the
nicht
stone at
geht.
the back of the 8-foot is wide open.
Ja. Ja, sowieso, ja. Okay, vorne 4.
Was?
Ja. Ja, das müssen wir. Vorne 4.
Nein, es hat schon.
This one just has to be third shot and outcount the ones that are around the edge of the 12-foot.
Ja, gut. Aber nicht viel, ja.
Was sind wir? Wir müssen echt 2 gute Chefs spielen.
Platz.
Nicht 3 bekommen, nur 2.
Linie, okay. Schön bis da. Wenden, Andi. Immer Andi, schön bis da. Achtung, Andi, yep, keep going. Yep, mush. Wait. Tony.
We got that one around the corner guard and placed very well.
Das ist nicht mega schlimm. Der Freeze, also Freeze ist für mich schon voll.
Alles so geschrieben.
Ja, ja.
So I think you'll see Schwaller's team switch to the draw on this shot.
Also, das ist ein Drittel eher.
I may be wrong. They may play the corner run back, but
2 abgeben.
Man muss zuerst Kontakt machen mit dem. Ist ziemlich dünn.
Also, wenn ich das nicht mache, fährt ich kein Doppel nachher. Ja. Wahrscheinlich der Freeze
Im
ist schon
Moment
besser.
haben wir ein kleines Spatzig mit dem Draw hier.
Ja,
Oder?
ich glaube, ich bin.
Ja. Die haben es da.
War 14.
the rock is slightly behind the tee line, and they come around and be sitting right on the button, buried.
14, 13.
That'll
And they
cause a
did
lot of
indicate
troubles
the
for
range.
Team Brunner.
Yeah, they indicated the range in which this rock could be successful too. It has to outcount the yellow one that is third shot. So they need to get it somewhere in the top 8, top 4.
Linie gut.
Jetzt passt ja echt.
Linie. Lin.
Ja.
Nein.
Lin.
Ja.
Michael Brunner has the
Really
hammer
good.
down 3, playing the 6th end.
Nur Länge. Linie ist
Trying to get
perfekt.
something going here.
Genau,
And
Freeze.
Jannik's trying to prevent
Genau,
that from
Freeze.
happening.
Alle. Perfekt.
Benoit's been spot on with draw weight since after the first end.
Aber er hat einfach die Hand.
Der nicht abgeworfen.
Ja.
Yeah, the Schwaller team's really turned it around as far as that feel for draw weight. Even the tap backs, they've played some really nice tap backs as well. And obviously the up weights have worked well too.
Klar machen, dass wir nicht können.
Aha, direkt.
Kommen bis da bleiben.
Ja, wird. Ja.
They can play the red one almost straight back on the other red one. The yellow will jam on the back red,
Ja, irgend so etwas.
end up sitting
Ja,
two.
der wird dann einfach dead buried sein. Ja, dass man wie früh liegen nach dem Shot.
Depends how much they can
like
see
it's
that
almost-
red
Ich
stone.
sehe noch einfach
I think the front one's almost a nose
Dann liegen
hit.
wir einfach Shot am Second. Ja, ich sehe jetzt das gerade nicht, dass sie vorne dran liegt. Das habe ich das Gefühl gesagt, ja.
Ja, das
Ja, also das geht, ja.
Das geht.
Die Lücke ist schon genug breit. Ja. Selbst wenn wir Nase drauf kommen, stört das ja glaube nicht, oder? Ja, das Ding ist, wenn der wieder weg ist, ist das kein Gimmi-Doppel liegen geblieben.
Sehr gut. Das ist schon gut.
Ja, ich habe das Gefühl, Ja. Ja, ein bisschen mehr.
It's really important for Brunner to be able to get the deuce set up here.
I'm not sure who actually is shot on those 2 stones in the 4-foot.
No, I'm not either.
Pasta.
Which might change it. If yellow is still shot, corner freeze isn't bad. If red is shot, I think you got to make a play on it by using the run back.
Yeah, I'm guessing yellow is
So,
shot,
because-
the way they were talking.
Because of this call, I would guess that yellow is shot as well.
Jab-Linie! Jab-Linie! Linie gut! Linie gut! Achtung! Jab! Jab! Jab!
Not anymore.
Red is definitely shot now, and if Benoit was to freeze one right in there, it's going to cause a lot of problems for Brunner.
Also, das geht leider für 3, wenn wir es ignorieren.
Just a little bit heavy on that freeze attempt.
Oh nein, das zieht oben durch.
Ja.
Das ist im Fall vom Draw nicht.
And of course, what they're looking at is what are we going to leave our opposition? So they're standing out at that yellow stone, corner guard, and saying, we're going to leave them that angle raise in there to perhaps get both of ours out. So where should we have this red stone?
Also Guard spielen?
Also das ist möglich, ja.
Was ist möglich?
Run Double ist forced.
Also das, ich persönlich würde es auch
Ja,
nicht
nein,
spielen,
mach
aber...
ich nicht, aber...
Yeah, so that's what they're worried about, is that yellow corner guard being run into the 2 red stones in the house should they draw one in there, being able to double them out. So it's really important that they get this stone in the right place and figure out where that right place is.
Nein, ich weiß.
Es geht gerade schwierig.
Also wenn ich hier bin, das ist fertig. Das ist ja nur forced.
Ja, wenn Inside, also Inside geht, da nicht.
Ja. Inside ist stark.
Also, hier Inside,
Ich
da bringst du fast nicht, ja es geht immer noch.
Also wie geht es immer noch? Also sorry,
So drauf,
also sorry, was geht es immer noch, oder?
da wäre gut, oder?
Also wenn du da bist, das ist...
Ich glaube, das ist extrem schwierig nachher, sowieso.
Also wenn ich da bin, das ist fast nicht möglich.
No, das ist
So
crazy.
the call on this shot is totally about preventing your opposition from making a spectacular shot for a multiple score.
Ja, Benoit.
So, oder?
Gleich dran. Ich habe das so gemacht.
Ja, okay.
So they decided to come right into the red one, and if they can get they like to over curl the red one that's already there a little bit. They figure if they can over curl that red one a little bit, then the double won't be there.
Wait.
Linie gut. Make sure. Allez, Pablo.
Ligne très bien.
Just
Lead
a little bit
très bien.
less weight.
Parfait.
Front,
Relax.
front of the
Relax,
4-foot is the call.
Ligne 8. Ligne.
Tu l'as.
Bis an.
That's why they're rushing it hard.
Allez, colle là, pas le...
Colle, allez.
Wow, I couldn't have placed that one any better. So great working out where they wanted that stone to go, and then even better execution with all 4 players.
Det dünn.
The brusher sweeping it. Person in the house, Yannick calling it perfectly, and Benoit throwing it perfectly.
Der würde nie, ja gut, der ist fast gleich schwierig. 5-2.
Wie?
Also der da schon, ja, der was Anni gesagt hat, aber der wäre direkt.
Du musst das einfach streifen und
aber der ist ja noch gleich schwierig. Und
mega thin Streifen 2 machen.
Ich habe es nicht. Nein, das nicht.
Nein.
Wenn ist der Vierer nicht weggeht?
You lose the other one, right?
Also, der Karl wäre ja irgendwo da zu bereichen.
Ja.
Ah ja, dann verlieren wir einen Haufen, ja, aber der Karl...
Hey, du ja, we're stone cold, man. Eis ist so gut.
Ja. Also so voll wie es geht, dass wir den rausbringen. Ja, aber das wird
Michael Brunner's first stone of the end tapped the red one, and that was why the angles were set up poorly for them. Another great shot by Mouat as well.
Ich glaube, es ist 1 in 30. Vielleicht 1 in 20.
Und vor allem ist tendenzmäßig für 3.
So I believe they're trying to run the red one back onto the yellow, onto the other red, and leave one yellow as shot. Or this angle
moving up to that yellow one
would accomplish
the
same thing. If the yellow onto the top red, it will stick there. It will maybe rub off the other yellow. They might be able to get 2 out of this. If he hits about a half of the top yellow, or sorry, the yellow one almost on the nose, it will rub a little bit off the yellow, which will get it spinning. It'll take the back red out and spin away, and he might be able to score a deuce here. Maybe even 3 if the one he runs in there will stick. But it has to rub off that yellow one. The angle of this is very, very tight. There's not much room for error, so this has to be perfect.
Oh, very nice for even 1.
Yeah, they did that a little bit on the thinner, a little bit more early. And that's really difficult to do. And most of the times we find that teams don't hit those rocks thin enough when they're running one in. Because when you hit a rock that's out there and you're running it in, it has forward momentum. So it doesn't always go quite at the angle you think it's going to go. You have to hit them generally about half a centimeter thinner.
Yeah, we talked so much about drag, we forgot to talk about carry on those angles. And definitely there is carry towards the back of the house. Good try, but only 1.
Yeah, the momentum of the stone coming down the ice pushes that rock that you hit forward a little more than you think it does. It doesn't go straight at the angle. However, a score of 1 was big, given what they were looking at, and certainly keeps them in the game, but they have to steal 3 ends in a row here now. Steal 7 to get within 1, steal 8 to tie it, and then steal the extra end. So they'll be going all out for a steal. And Schwaller knows a score of 1 or a blank this end is all he needs.
Not to leave it 1, that's what I meant. I did short, but not to leave it 1.
So he'll be trying to keep it as clean as he can.
Achtung, Linie schert, Heid. Ja, Linie gut. Nur ganz sacht, nicht weiter. Ja, nicht die 4 Fuß.
Ja, ist
4 Fuß.
Eisen 4. Ah, ist 4. Das ist 4. Ja,
Linie macht alles sauber. Gut, Sölsa. Oui. Super. Perfekt.
Ja. Okay.
13-4.
Ja.
Give you an update on the Retornaz Whyte game. Retornaz got one in the 6th end, so he still trails Whyte 4-3. In the 7th, Whyte has hammer. And sheet 1, Kapp and Edin. That game is all knotted up. They're still playing the 6th end, and Kapp has hammer.
Also, okay, ja.
Weißt du, wenn wir es clearen, tun wir raus. So. Avec this way. Sorry. Nein, also aber kannst du auch mit Clearing nicht rausrollen, ohne dass der
Al, I didn't see the call of that last Yellowstone. Was it supposed to come in or be another
Ist
guard?
los nicht gut für euch.
I think it was supposed to corner freeze in front of the redstone.
This way.
Would you have played a
So
guard?
even as Linda says, biting the top of the house or even short of the house would have been a better place than deep.
Oui, Benoit, oui.
Because now Schwaller can get into a hitting game with only one guard in place.
Tight.
Although they kicked
That
that
was
away
going to
because
hit
it
the
was going
guard.
to touch it.
Was going to hit the guard and move it well off the center line. So rather than trying to figure out where it was, Benoit moved it out of the way. So the stone is in the exact same position. You heard Yannick say he was tight. That means he was inside the broom.
This is definitely an end with very clear strategy for both teams. Brunner needs to go for a steal. So you play guard, you keep as many rocks in play as you can. And for Schwaller, he wants to keep it as open as possible. Even a score of 1 is fine.
Hard, Tony, hard.
I think you'll seeing them rip the corner guard off and perhaps trying to pick off one in the house too.
Ja, is goed.
A lot of high weight shots from Team Schwaller from almost here on in.
Cool. Go. Oui. Okay.
Really didn't want to leave that guard out in front. So things are actually looking Brunner's way at this point. Probably come around that red one. Top 12 foot would be a great shot. I don't think I want to have Team Schwaller running their stone in. I think I'd want them trying to play a double peel on 2 guards. I think I'd, rather than come right in, I think I'd rather see this stone around the red one, top 12 foot, or just short of the house.
So far, I'm surprised that he's playing so many in.
I think you'll see another run back from Team Schwaller here.
Oui.
Oh, just through the hole.
Oops. And left a useful guard.
You like this?
Not hearing a lot of Swiss German from Team Brunner. I don't know if that's a plan that they have because they're probably going to be traveling to Canada for some bonspiels or Scotland, and they decided that seeing as there's a lot of English lingo in curling anyway, they seem to be going mostly English in their communication.
Double clearing.
Vielleicht nimmst du noch eine weg mit. Ja, ich hätte schon gesagt, ich meine das.
Weißt du, wenn ich es chase, das kommt nicht gut.
I think they're just going to double peel the guards and not worry about the ones in the house right now.
Vor etwas hin, aber der Chase bringt nicht so
How
viel.
many times do you see a game where they try to play these runbacks into something in the house and double the guard and the one in the house, and they just keep sticking out front and leaving guards? So I definitely think the double peel is the right call.
Big steal on sheet 1 sees Kapp go ahead of Edin by the score of 6-4 with a steal of 2 in the 6th end. Well, Dean's having all he can handle out there, the young Kapp team.
Whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. No. Vad ska spela med?
Nothing in front of the house now.
Wel klap zo. Wat je nou met de gleer?
Ja, ja, ja.
Oké.
Oui. Super.
Wat je meet?
Ja.
Good angle to get rid of everything. For a moment,
So this
there
call
might
is
be
not about
the other turn.
Yep. This call is not about guarding the one on the button, they're guarding the one at the top of the forefoot.
Gut, gut. Easy. Nummer 2, Nummer 2. Wow, 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 wow.
They want a 2, which is about a middle guard.
Ja, so,
Well,
oder?
it couldn't have been carried down the ice any better than that.
Nö, aber ihr will das.
Okay.
Oder?
There's an opportunity to spill the 2 stones
Ja.
in the forefoot and the guard out in front as well.
Ich Regel anmachen, einen holen, dann kann er nicht beide verstecken. So bekommen wir nie 2 gestohlen, wenn ich ihn mitnehme.
Has to hit this a little bit on the center line side
Mit dem letzten. Oder mit dem ersten.
and get everything moving. Again, this will be coming down the ice in about 6 seconds. Hog to hog.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Good.
Get up here. Get up. Get up. Go. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Just trying to get the side one.
Ja, Sven.
Ja, den machen wir noch gleich.
Ich glaube, ich bin immer noch auf dem Unis gesehen.
Ja, du hast schon recht. Aktiv gehabt.
Ja, alles gut.
Ja, aber ich will schon nochmal den gleichen Turn, jetzt wo wir sehen.
Well, I had suggested they play more guards, but so far it's working out for the Brunner team to have the ones in the rings. The shots out in front, the runbacks are not being made.
Aber ist nicht crazy, oder?
Ja, ja.
Stef, die nichts anderes machen.
Das ist nicht gut, der ist schon langsam voll.
Ja, hat irgendwie so spezieller. Und nachher mit dem letzten,
So he tried to put his guard right between the two. So the middle of his stone will be on the edge of the rock at the top of the forefoot. Try and guard them both.
Shot nehmen, Shot bleiben, Vorschub. Dann muss er zuerst hinten rollen, perfekt zurückbringen. Weil dort geht Raum. Aber es ist nicht mehr einfach auf dem Eis, einen Chase spielen. Ich glaube, In-Off ist einfacher.
Yannick Schwaller up 2 with the hammer, but looking at 3 at the moment.
Early! Hat sich gut angefühlt, was das anbelangt drüben.
Wenig gut.
Muss noch ein bisschen curlen.
Yep, Brunner, yep.
Hey!
Yep.
Ja, aber das ist auch
Hey! Hey!
Yep.
Gut.
beste Idee.
I think you might see Benoit try and play the one on the button now. Or the one at the top of the...
Komisch.
So he'll have second shot in there.
Ja, es ist schon
There's lots of opportunities.
Ja.
Er hat sich schon da unten komisch angefühlt, aber ich nicht drunter gehabt. Also vom
Here,
Dings her.
Yannick speaking Swiss German to talk to Benoit. Benoit is from Geneva, which is a French-speaking part of Switzerland. And when he went up to curl with people in Zurich, he had to learn German. So we had Sven Michael had to learn French. Benoit had to learn German in order to communicate with everybody on the team. So the Swiss seem to have a real knack of picking up languages. Because they have to.
Ich habe einen 4 gegen 2. Ist okay, aber ich bin 4 gegen 2. Ich finde beide Calls gut. Beide Rolls. Ja, genau. Ja. Ist ein bisschen schwieriger. Ist ein bisschen schwieriger. Klein. Ich würde sowieso 11,5. Ein bisschen mehr. So. Ja, genau. Was ist mich? 11,5, 12, ja, genau. Nog mee. Ah, ik zei halve. Ja, 11,5. Ja, ja.
The tapback on the one in the house will accomplish a few things. Make some more space for the last one. Potentially leave second shot in play. And then make Michael Brunner think about how he wants to approach his shot. Well, a lot of curl on the ice right now.
Continue, continue.
Nice brushing.
Okay. Okay. Excuse. Yeah.
I think you might see Brunner make an attempt to hit that one and roll a bit and sit 3. He could guard it as well. That would be the other option, but there is a double off the side stone. If he was to guard and they make the double off the side stone, it would be a score of 2 for Schwaller and be game over. And I said that one's about a half rock double, which is maybe a little skinny half double.
It's okay. Das Heck. Ist ja egal, ob der drinnen bleibt. Er muss einfach schlechter sein als der. Ja, schlechter ist schon der ist also klar schön, aber... Ja gut, nein, mein Ziel wäre der Shooter fast ganz offen zu lassen. Also so voll wie es geht eigentlich, dass man da verpasst.
Ja, also...
A lot of conversation about this one. You can see that Benoit has accomplished what he wanted. He got his second shot, opened it up a bit. I'd be tempted to play the guard on this. Let them throw at that double. I mean, it's you're down 2. It's desperation time, really.
I think Benoit would make that double more than 60% of the time. So I'm on the other side of the fence.
Now this is fine, but if you roll too far, that shot stone will be available.
Yeah. What he'd really love to do is tick the shot stone as he goes by, so that it's going to be behind his guard, and leave Benoit on the edge of the button to draw to. That would be the perfect scenario. Stop this one from curling too much. Roll a little too far. So shot stone is pretty open for Benoit. Play the same kind of shot he just did and score 1.
Also een beetje meer tempo. Ja, valt hier over zo oder niet? Ja. Ja. Goed. Een halve seconde meer. Ja.
Ja, ja, voll. Ja. Aber ja, die haben nicht mehr daran gedacht.
Bisschen schneller, also halbe Sekunde. Ich weiß nicht, wie viel ich sie aber.
Nice grab, Andy.
I'd give Benoit an 85+% chance of making this one. This is kind of the shot you're paid your 4th player to make. His little soft weight tap back on the one and a button. Showing 11.5 seconds, which is He's throwing about hack weight.
I'm not sure the fourth gets paid any more than the others now.
Clean. Just clean, Pablo.
Oh, I don't know.
Super, Ben.
Very nice, though. Beautiful shot.
Nice weight, nice control. I think he made that right out of his hand. So they'll take a 3-point lead home.
Ja, maar hij is nou ook niet goed gemaakt.
It was going to be very difficult for Brunner. He did come up with a 3 in the second end, so he'll be looking to repeat that kind of end that he had there.
Ja, super gespielt. Jetzt mal mich besser. Ja, genau. Le 2, hein. Tu joues de l'ollie avec le 2.
So Brunner's probably deciding whether they should put corner guards on opposite sides or 2 corner guards on the same side.
Tony.
Okay, Al. So how many times would you tell your team not to put the first one in play when you're up 3 coming home?
100%.
And
My
yet?
My first one would be out of play. I would be throwing this rock through the house.
But you just don't see it.
So you for?
I always say if you're up 1 more than there are ends to play, throw it away. So they're up 3 with 1 to play.
Good.
Enjoy.
Anything in play can be used by Michael Brunner. If you put it in the hack and he wants to freeze to it, that's fine too.
Center.
I would let him do that.
Enjoy.
Now it's interesting when we talk about the no-tick rule, the free guard zone rule, and all the things that go into curling. Traditionally, this rock would be played as a corner guard, but quite often now we're seeing the play with corner guards as we do in mixed doubles, where the opposition team raises it into the rings because it can be moved, just not removed, and then it can be hit. So the attempt there was not a corner guard, it was a center guard touching the center line so that it could not be ticked. Interesting play.
Ja, das ist schon gut.
Ich glaube, das ist der Call hier.
Hätte gerne eins mit.
Well, note here, see Ross Whyte blanked the 7th end and took 1 in the 8th end. Obviously had to throw his last rock to beat Retornaz, #1 ranked team in the world, 5-3. So Ross Whyte, again, the second Scottish team, moves into the semi-final.
13-7. Lass mir einen Starpen, sonst. Komm, wir lassen einen Starpen. Das ist super. Tipptopp dort.
Très bien.
Très bien, Pablo.
I talked about Schwaller trying to keep it simple. The one good thing that happened was his lead, Pablo, kept him in front of the tee line. We often see some mistakes made by the team that's trying to keep it simple, maybe a bit too heavy because they're afraid of coming up short. But Pablo did keep them in front of the tee line.
Das ist schon Möglichkeit. Tee.
So if we're going to see from now on, this being the 5th stone of the end, from now on, Schwaller's team is going to be playing run and gun. Sorry, this is only the 4th stone of the end.
Whoa, Tony.
Trying the freeze, trying to keep these rocks in a little collection, making it harder to remove the yellow.
Yep.
And it's not going to curl enough.
It's going to roll off. No, it's going to be a...
Wenn wir nach so und raus.
Ja, ein drittes Seil. Aber nicht ganz raus, aber vielleicht einfach da Abfuß über.
Die Nase macht es auch okay, da ist der zu, da können wir dann immer... Alles fort, meinst du? Können wir auch? Ja, ja, also...
The question being, do you want to stay there or have the shooter roll out?
Wir nehmen Guard.
Or remove even one of your own stones.
Okay.
You just have in mind the line that I played in my guard.
Halbe! Drittel gehen sie auch!
So they're trying to remove us.
Dann nimmst du leider
Stones
nicht
are on
mit,
the
aber ist
forefoot,
okay.
so Brunner can't freeze for them. They don't mind if he sets up for a deuce, they just can't give him a 3.
I would definitely not play the nose hit. I would play some sort of rollout, but they don't get it.
Also, der pickt nach der Hand gerade. Habe ich gefunden. Aber so ist es mir vorher auch gegangen. Ja, aber die Linie war nicht auf Nase von dem. Das war gut.
It's one thing about this ice, it's great ice. Again, thanks to Jamie Danbrook, the ice maker. It is a little less forgiving. If you're at all inside, because of the amount of curl, even with the bigger weights, it's going to curl. So you really have to be conscious of the release and the line that you give on your stones to make sure it can roll out or make the shot that's called.
And if you saw out of the corner of your eye in the top left of the screen, Edin has scored 2 in the 7th end to tie that game. So he'll be coming home without Last Rock trying to steal it. And Kapp will be with Last Stone trying to keep it open, score as 1 and win the game. And knock the defending world champion out. And you can see out again of the corner of your eye, Edin does have 2 guards established. And there's no guards left on our sheet.
No, one nice freeze for the Brunner team, but no guards to work with.
And that freeze is actually not hard to get out if you come off your own redstone. I'll just keep peeling guards. Brunner has to set up a 3.
That's the challenge. It's one thing to say you need rocks in play, but you actually have to set up a 3, not just a deuce. So playing guards is fine, but at some point you have to be bringing these in the rings.
Ist gut? Ja, sicher. Lag 8, wa? Non, c'est bien, c'est bien.
And another low stress shot for Schwaller, just peeling off the guard.
Michael's going to have to be creative here to try and set up a 3.
You can play freezes, you can come around Shot Rock to the back of the house, or around the top 12-foot stone, but you have to start getting something set up in the house.
Yeah, you have to, coming around that top 8-foot stone from the wide side. Or freeze your own right on the nose and tap the redstone back even with the other redstone. If you're right dead on the nose and they hit it, it's going to go back on it. I think I favor that call.
Also was für den spricht, ist, dass man nachher nicht eine riesen Auflage bietet.
If there's any coaches watching, it's just an interesting point in analytics to know how many times the Brunner team has come together as a complete team. I have not been counting, but it's a lot. And it slows the pace of the game. It actually makes that momentum issue pop up sooner. And it also makes me think as a coach that they're not very clear about how to deal with these situations where the plan has not gone perfectly. Something has happened. Obviously, the opposition is making some nice shots. but the person in the house, the skip, is not finding their way with this new plan. So something to talk about after the game, look back at the ends and why you had so many conversations. If a game was timed, you would be in a little bit of trouble with those conversations.
Ich finde, auch im Sommer jetzt, wo alle Teams trainiert haben, macht einfach das bare
And
Minimum.
the point we've made before too is quite often after a long conversation, the shots are not made that well. The focus is lost because of a long analysis of the shot.
Das ist sicher fair.
Just leave it.
Ja. Also.
Normal. Ist das im Haus bringt nichts, Benoit?
Nein, nein, das ist besser, ja.
Einfach Guard.
And Team Schwaller be content to keep peeling off guards.
Rausnehmen, dann plötzlich hat ein Freeze.
I don't think that's putting any stress on them at all. Because the Brunner team is running out of stones.
Ja, das ist ein bisschen schneller wie ich, bringt es raus.
Muss auf dieser Seite bleiben.
Ja, ich weiß das schon.
Also, du schau groß von anlaufen.
Les Gamiens.
Oui,
oui, un peu, oui.
Oui, escorte, oui, oui.
Pour les. Go, 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 go.
Aïe, 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 aïe.
Je suis pas le goût.
That actually helps them. Getting that stone off the button actually helps Team Schwaller. One less stone that Brunner can use. But I think he has to come down around wide side now, around the stone at the top of the 8 foot, and get one at the back of the 8 foot that's not in line with the stone at the top of the 4 foot.
Yeah.
You might be able to do it with the out turn too, but you would be in line with Yellowstone coming back. I think you have to get it right behind the somewhere about 4 o'clock at the back of the 8 foot.
In these situations where you've played a freeze, it's not a perfect freeze. There is some separation between those two stones, the yellow and the red biting the 4 foot, but that is a drag effect situation. So when you play these come-arounds, you have to realize the opposition can manipulate that situation a little bit to get rid of some stones. So definitely you have to think about the position of this rock in the back of the house and where you want it.
Yeah, the problem with that also, that last roll, is they've taken away taking out that yellow rock off their own. But they can run the guard back at an angle and it will easily go out of the house. But again, that's more a precise shot. So if they can get this one buried, 3 is in play.
Whoa.
It's such great finish
Very
on this
well.
ice, just fantastic.
Yeah, really well placed. And now a 3 is definitely in play.
We gaan wel even geen dode 4 vastleggen.
Dat is zo slim. Ik zeg dat zo, dat
I think Sven's saying run this red one back and take the yellow one out.
Run, oder?
I don't mind that call at all.
Ja. Es ist der Run, sag ich. Hair high. Ja.
That's what they decided to do.
Yeah.
So they want to hit this just a little off nose, hair high, as he said, hair high. And because of the angle it's coming in and the speed is coming in, that yellow rock will fly sideways out the house. And the red behind it will probably go out of the house as well, which will just leave Brunner 1 behind a guard, and we'll have to get another one behind there and hope they don't make a run back.
Oui. Whoa! Cut! Goed, zeer goed, Benoit. Yeah.
So all Brunner can do now is get another one in behind there and hope that the run back's not made.
You could play the freeze, guard the back one.
If he gets it on 2/3, it might jam on the side one.
Weil weißt du, das Gefühl, da hat recht schnell,
Right where his broom is.
dass er so rausbringt.
Ja, aber da.
Aber gut, da sind wir fast nicht schott. Ja, wir müssen da.
Which one should I try and freeze?
Yeah.
The problem is if he freezes the one on the side and is not shot, Benoit can just draw another one in the house. I think he's got to play the center one and try and freeze on, get the angle freeze on it 2/3.
Ja, wir müssen auf die Kante kommen, das wäre hier. Ja, kannst du mal
And
ein
if he
bisschen-
does, again, Benoit would just have to draw another one in the house
Ja, probier
and
das sicher über die Nase raus.
force Brunner to figure out how to get the two out and stay.
Aufs Haar vom Papier. Ja, nein, auf jeden Fall da rein.
Corner freeze, ja.
Wir müssen ein bisschen schauen, wo man ist, dann der Winkel.
Zu Viertel. Mit sicher besser sein als der Äußer. Also respektive sind wir, wenn wir dran sind, dann.
So out of the corner of your eye, they're down to skip stones over there, and there's no guards in play.
Really good.
There was a hog stone earlier by Team Edin, trying to get a long guard on.
Really good. Andy am Stein.
Immer Andy.
This one is not going to make the house.
This is way short, and that will be game over. Not enough stones left to come. So Team Schwaller moves on to the semi-final.
Ja. Sies und mehr.
Ja, ist gut.
Olé.
Bien joué.
Ja, ist gut gespielt. Super, du hast sehr gut gespielt.
Wow, merci, merci.
So the semifinals are set now for the Baden Masters. Another great year of play by these elite teams. And that play will be on Sunday in Switzerland.
Still a couple of stones left to come on the Kapp-Edin game. I think skip stones for Kapp and one left for Edin. I'm not sure what's in play in the house. I don't know whether our camera can swing over there or not.
You're asking a lot, Al. Now the winner of this game, Schwaller, plays the winner of that game. And Mouat plays Whyte in the other semi-final.
So the two we've talked about earlier that no Scottish team has ever won this event, and two of them are playing in the semi-final. One will be in the final for sure. So we will have a Scottish team in the final. So I think that's goodbye from us on sheet 2. And please stay tuned tomorrow for the semi-final and final coming from beautiful Baden, Switzerland. Good night, everybody.